My name's Kayla. I'm one of the Youth and Teen Services librarians here at the library, and today we're going to be doing the Teen and Tween craft for December, which is the snowy mason jars. And if you got the kit, then you'll get one of these papers, and in that kit, one of these bags. Also a warning, just so you're aware, the Epsom salt is in this container under a plastic wrap. Just be careful. But as I said, you get Epsom salt in your container. A mason jar with the lid. Some twine. A tea light. And a bell. As well as 2 paintbrushes. Get that out of the way. As well as the things in the kit, you will also need some form of glue that dries clear. Mod Podge works really well, but any type of school glue, like Elmer's glue, as long as it dries clear, will work great, and that's what I'll be using today. You get paintbrushes, but if you have like a bigger brush, that might work better, as well as a container to put the Epsom salt in, and a plate to catch the Epsom salt in. Plates is very important. Scissors might be useful. Let's see. And an adhesive or acrylic spray. So I don't have one of that, and it's not necessary, but this is what my example craft looks like. It'll just make sure that the snow on the jar stays instead of casually falling off. But it's not necessary. Okay. Let's get started. So let me show you what I'm working with. So you'll take your jar and just paint glue around the jar. And you're going to want to make sure it's even. It's not, you don't want too much in one spot or not enough in another. And actually, I'm going to need to open my Epsom salt first. Okay. And you can do this in sections, or you can do the whole thing. If you're using a smaller paintbrush, you might want to do it in sections so that the glue doesn't dry before you get to put the salt on. But if you do it that way, you will have patches. So it is up to you, whatever works best for you. And then we're just going to take the Epsom salt and sprinkle it over violently like that, because you want a good coverage, but you also want yeah, and you can reuse all of that just fell off. And then you just work your way around the jar. Ooh, so as you can see, I did miss a section because I am patching. I'm going to take all this Epsom salt and pour it back into my bigger container. Very well. I'm doing a very good job. Not. But that's okay, because we're not going to eat it, so it can just hopefully your adults don't mind a little bit of a mess. Okay, so I have about 3/4 of mine done, so you can see it's coming along well. So let's do the other part. getting glue all over my hands. And there you go. So I have the outside of my mason jar done. You can see that I do have some patchiness. If once your glue is completely dry, then you can go back and maybe add some more, but you don't want to be messing with the Epsom salt while the glue is still drying. That'll just lead to more of it dropping off. So I'm going to take a break for about an hour, half hour to an hour, to let this dry before I do the next step, and of course wash my hands, and I will see you then. Okay guys, I am back. I'm still wearing my mask. I don't need to because I'm in a room all by myself. Okay, so I have waited about an hour for my glue to dry, and as you see, some of it still is falling off, but for the most part it's staying on quite nicely. You can still see those lines where I did my patchwork, and so now it's time to decorate. So you've all been given a tea light. Obviously it turns on and off with the button at the bottom. You can put that in the bottom, and any of your greenery or your bell you can tie with your twine, and you can use to decorate your jar. If you see, this one is the one I did earlier. It doesn't have a bell on it, but I just kind of wrapped it around really well too. I kind of wrapped it around the jar and then tied a knot of sorts. You can use your glue to keep the twine to stay, or you can just wrap it around like I did. It is utterly up to you. I'm going to thread my bell onto the twine instead of gluing it, maybe. And I did give you guys quite a bit. Don't feel like you have to use all of this. As I said, it is utterly up to you how much of it you want to use or think that you will need. And if you did not spray your jar like I did not, some of your snow will fall off. It's just going to happen. And that is okay. I do recommend, if you're displaying it, to maybe put something under it so that as the jar snows and loses its salt pieces, you don't make a huge mess in your house. I think that's part of the charm, as the snow just casually comes off, but your adults might not appreciate that. Okay. I'm making a mess. And about here, I think. I'm gonna tie it up. I'm gonna make a cute bow off to the side. It's not gonna be a bow. I don't know what I can't do bows, only knots. Yeah, and then get my scissors, cut that off, and I don't think I want it to show, so I'm going to tuck these pieces under and over. There. Okay, so then we get my plate off. So there you go. And you could have also, I guess I didn't mention this, but you could have also taken this piece, not this piece, but this piece, and put it on and then wrapped your twine around that, if that is your preference. I'd say not this piece if you do have this piece to yours. Some of yours don't. because you want to be able to get in to your tea light to turn it on and off. So then what you guys can do is you can turn your tea lights on and put it in and turn off the lights. I unfortunately can't do that for you guys, but then you can see how it like kind of lights up. It's very cool. You turn that off. So there you have it. Please send me a picture when you're done. I don't get to see it in person, which kind of makes me sad. But if you finish and you really like how yours turned out, feel free to send us a message on Facebook or email us at the library. My email is khodson@northlibertyowa.org. And let's see. And I also have included a list of fun books on the bottom of your instruction sheet. So I'm just going to go through that because I think they're worth mentioning and talking about. Okay. So, if you are a teen, I guess you guys can see my face for this part. Hi. So if you guys are a teen, which is my preferred area of reading, don't tell anyone. This is Love and Other Trainwrecks by Leah Conan, and it's a realistic teen fiction. It kind of reads like a Hallmark movie if you're in the mood for like a cozy winter romancy read. It discusses different ideas of love on a train ride to New York in the middle of a snowstorm. And it's charming, funny, and romantic, and it's very cute. So that's this one. If you're a teen that prefers the fantasy world, which is, again, my section, this is one of my favorite books. It's obviously a teen fantasy, and it's a feminist retelling of Snow White in a kingdom cursed by snow. And you have these two strong main characters. There's this mother-daughter conflict, but I guess it's a stepmother-stepdaughter conflict between these two strong main characters. And there's also like this self-identity quest. I really cannot recommend it enough. It's very good. If you're younger, which book am I talking about? This one is a little bit of a younger middle grade book. It's in our juvenile section. I guess I didn't say the title of this other book. This is Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Barshadust. I forgot to say the title, apologies. This one is The Greatest Gift, and it's part of the Heartwood Hotel series. It's the second book in the series. You don't have to read them in order, but there are 4 of them, and they follow the seasons. So it's December, so obviously I chose the winter one. And this is by Callie George. And it's an animal fiction, so it has a cast of talking animals, and it takes place in their world. And as I said, it's a bit easier. It's a couple steps above like the Magic Treehouse book series. And it's about a mouse who works at a hotel, and it's has all these fun illustrations. So like this front cover, that's what the hotel is. It's in a tree, and it's just got like some cute illustrations throughout. And it's another very sweet, cozy winter read for when we just need to get away from the real world. So the next one is for fans of mystery books. I personally am not, but I can definitely see the appeal in them. This is a middle grade book. It's called The Green Glass House by Kate Milford. Here it is. It's very plot-driven, adventurous. There are 4 books in this series that don't need to be read in order, but there's a series if you're excited for more after reading this one. And the main character is a 12-year-old boy. His name is Milo. And him and his new friend are trying to solve the mystery of this inn and its guests. It has like Westing Games vibes, if you're familiar with that book. It's another really good one. And then let's take a step over to the nonfiction side of the world. So this one is a Blizzard's book. And if you go into our juvenile nonfiction section and look under the weather area, you can find all sorts of books where you can learn about winter storms like blizzards. And a fun thing about this one is this one talks about, over here, it talks about the children's blizzard of 1888. So you can also get, and tons more, so you get all sorts of information about all the different types of blizzards that the United States has gone through. And if you've read this book, this is the I Survived book about the children's blizzard of 1888 by Lauren Tarshis. And if you're into that, or if you're into this series, it's a bunch of historical novels about natural disasters and other disasters, I suppose. And so this one you can learn more about this way, or you can learn the other way around. So those are the books that I'm recommending for my craft. And I just lost what I was talking about. So as I said, please send us pictures or what you thought about this craft. We love the feedback. You can follow us on Instagram. It's at NLCL_teens. And of course, our Snapchat is NLCL Teens, both with an S at the end. And thank you for doing this craft with me. Bye, guys.